Ann Wilson and Nancy Wilson from Heart covered Stairway to Heaven in 2012 during the Led Zeppelin tribute at Kennedy Center with the Led Zeppelin members in the audience.
That's a bit of pressure.
Hi everyone! I am now going to listen to Mistral Wind by Heart. And I know that the Mistral is a strong, cold wind that blows from southern France into the northern Mediterranean Sea. And I found out that Heart is an American rock band formed in 1973 in Seattle, Washington. Heart rose to fame with music influenced by hard rock and heavy metal, as well as folk music. And, I mean, boy, they covered Stairway with Plant, Page, and John Paul Jones in the audience. So they must be pretty good, I would think. And I want to see what they sound like.
My ship was still and waiting. I lay on that mirrored sky, a restless sailor waiting. I closed my eyes, said the words of will, for the gentle breathing that moves the sea and make my sails fill.
Well, up to now, at least, it sounds quite mellow. But there are some things that sound a little bit wintry about it, cold about it. I want to start back at the beginning because I guess I expected something very different, and I'm having to adjust my mind to hearing this kind of sound here. So let's start again. It's a nice acoustic guitar at the beginning. That sound in the back sounds a bit like horns, but I imagine a sort of foggy, cold
When I took the watch, my ship was still
sea.
and waiting. I lay on.
It sounds a bit like as I said, a cold fog sitting over the sea here. And it's rather contemplative. And it fits with the lyrics about waiting. I took the watch and there was no wind. It's just a calm.
I lay on that mirrored sky, a restless sailor waiting.
It's almost like
Close my
you can
eyes,
feel
said the words
the
of
ship
love,
just
for the
rising and
gentle
falling gently.
breathing that moves the sea and make my sails fill.
You can almost hear the ship creaking.
Wish the waves cloud the glass away.
feel the ship starting to move a little bit more.
And in my ear it blew his name. It sounds so strange, but I heard it play. Mistral, Mistral wind.
Sounds like there's a piano involved now. I've noticed that this seems to be a feature of several songs that I've listened to, is that they have this very instrumental, gentle opening or acoustic sounding opening. And then after a little while, suddenly we hit the hard percussive rock style playing. But the openings seem to have more of a bring you into it flavor first. Bring you in, invite you in, make you comfortable, and then it hits. So here we are. Suddenly, this gets to be more like rock. Listen to this section again, because I commented on it as if it were kind of feeling a bit like a cliche pattern, gentle and then becoming hard. But it seems to fit the storyline, the lyrics here, and I want to pay attention to what's happening in the music and how that relates. So here we are again. We've had our gentle opening. Suddenly, it seems like the wind has struck the ship. Feel it moving more powerfully through here. I have always had the wheel. But I let the wind steal my power. And then we have this guitar here, which is kind of almost as if the wind takes over and is now driving the ship where it will. begin to like, hearing the same little figure stepping up and then someone has fun on the drums. Just a minute. I want to go back and match that with what came at the beginning. Let me just... a minute. Okay, let's go back to the beginning. It's not exactly what I was thinking it might be. This is just stepping up and down a little bit. Notice this intro here. We have this chord. And we're just rising and falling a little bit. Now going back here, right about, well, let's go about here. It's rising and falling a bit more, almost like the C has become more disturbed. Now this is more like what we had at the beginning. But now it's more electric sound rather than the flux. A bit of piano in there? Maybe. A bit of piano chords in the background. We get this sort of icy quality here. Again, it sounds kind of like a ship just creaking and shifting a little bit, very subtly. Imagine it just sitting out in the sea, rather still. So that was a bit different than I expected. And you saw me, I had to back up and kind of regroup because I had this idea of Mistral wind being this strong, cold blast rushing through the valleys between the mountains. And And then this was so different from what I envisioned might be the topic. But I see that they took this and did something with it more seagoing related. And that's a nice idea. I guess I feel like the music could have been a bit more descriptive, a bit richer for the lyrics. That's my personal feeling. And okay, this is a band that has female voices. And I haven't listened to a whole lot of those, but I'm working my way through some now. And the voice was clear, it was nice, but it wasn't something that struck me as something that I am eager to hear and listen to again. That doesn't mean I won't listen to it, but those are my first impressions about just the general quality and style of the music. But it's a nice little piece. I liked some of the ideas that the lyrics express. This idea of, and I especially liked the first portion of the music. And maybe not for the reason you might expect. You might think that I liked it because it had more of a plucked, natural acoustic feel, which it did, but that's not why I liked it. The reason I liked it is because I felt that that portion of the music did a very nice job of marrying itself with the lyrics and giving us this experience that is being communicated. This idea of a restless sailor whose turn it is to go on deck and keep watch, and just waiting for the wind to pick up. The ship has this sort of rising and falling feeling. It creaks a little bit, but it's calm, it's quiet. There's nothing really happening. And I feel like the music did a really good job of conveying that mood, that picture, that experience, the scenery, the quality. As I said, it made me feel like maybe it was a foggy, cold scene. Not necessarily nighttime, but perhaps nighttime. It could have been just as much dawn or dusk or even midday. But I felt like I could feel myself watching this ship on the water. Once the rock section, the hard rock section came in, it wasn't that I don't like the fact that it became harder, but I felt like it was less descriptive there. There were things that I picked out. I heard that little guitar pulling the power, ripping the wheel away from the sailor. And suddenly the wind is in control. But then, to me, it fell just a little bit flat of continuing with that same violent, out of control, being driven by the wind across the sea, feeling that I feel the lyrics allow for, even want to express. And why do I feel like it was a little bit underwhelming? I guess it got to be a little bit repetitive in a way that didn't engage me. That doesn't mean that repetitive is always a pejorative term in music. Repetition is very crucial. But when we say that something starts to feel repetitive, oftentimes we mean it loses the ability to engage us, to hold us, and to carry us through. This is a fairly harmonically simple piece of music, and melodically as well. However, I don't want to sound like I'm just criticizing and saying this is a no good piece of music. because that's not what I'm saying. It has to do with how I experienced it here. And that's okay, because we all experience things in different ways. And on the other hand, as I'm sitting here just talking through my thoughts right now and thinking it through, maybe this repetition is actually a good thing. Maybe it does convey something about this experience, because being driven by the wind at sea without really an ability to direct yourself, it does feel a bit like you're lost, like you don't have a purpose, a goal, you're just being taken wherever the wind takes you. And the repetition, or this non-directed feeling in the music, actually might fit really well. I'm going to have to think about this a little bit. But maybe I want to listen to this portion one more time with that in mind. Maybe it will change my perspective.
I've always held the wheel, but I let the wind steal my power.
That's a pretty good choice.
Spin me round, lose my course. Nights run by like towers. And show me the way to the deepest mountain, too high and beautiful to be.
That's a good moment there where it's kind of pushing us forward to this. We have this little motif.
Oh, the owls on the watcher, wakeful and breeze to move me, move me.
Just feel a bit like we're out of control here, like we're being thrown about, tossed about. Mostly because of the voice. This section just feels a bit long to me. I guess this is what made it feel like it was a little bit dull. Maybe I would shorten this section. It was better this time around. It was. And that's a good example of how sometimes the first time we hear something isn't always the time to make a judgment. I still feel like that one portion that I pointed out is a bit long because her voice, it was painting this picture of being driven out of control, thrown around, spun around, and this very powerful experience. But then what happened afterwards instrumentally, I still feel like it was just a little bit not compelling. I'm looking for something that's compelling, and for me, I don't find that compelling. That's okay. Maybe some of you do. But it is a nice piece of music in general. It has some great ideas. It has some very, very nice portions of it. So there is Harp Mistral Wind. It was something that I didn't expect, and I had to readjust myself in the middle. It's kind of balancing pros and cons, positive, negative feelings, reactions. But that is the first time I've heard it. I should probably give it a few more tries. This is not necessarily going to be my final conclusion after listening several more times. But there you go. That's the first time I've ever heard it. And I'll see you next time.